Hello everyone and welcome to another Montreal Expos highlight video. This highlight video is from our 8th game of the season where we were facing the San Francisco Giants on the road in the first game of the second half of the season. We got off to a great start in the top of the first when Pablo Sanchez is able to just get enough of this pitch to get it over the left center field fence, allowing us to have the perfect start as his solo home run gives us a 1-0 lead in a game that we felt could have strong potential playoff implications, with the Giants only one game behind us in the standings. And we could see that on the defensive side of the ball as well, as Mandy Coolidge in the bottom of the first hits a fantastic line drive to Ernie Steele, but his awareness to relay it to Annie Frazier and allow her to relay it to Jocinda Smith gets us a 7-4-3 putout. But then the Giants threaten with bases loaded in the bottom of the second. However, Luann strikes out Amy Bostwick and then uses the fireball to strike out Andres Ibsen, a very tactical use of the fireball there to get out of the jam. However, the Giants kept us at bay, and then Hugo Hernandez unleashes with an opposite field blast to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning, and he was a stud player. You could tell from the get-go with him, and it was not surprising to see him get a hold of one. In the top of the fifth, we try to bounce back now in a tie game. Annie Frazier hitting a little dribbler to the first baseman, Marky Dubois. However, they mishandle the throw to first, and so that brings Pablo Sanchez up with one on and nobody out, and he unleashes on the first pitch to get his second home run of the game. This one, much more of a line drive setup, definitely got more of a hold of it. But Pablo Sanchez continues the tear that he has been on for the past few games now, and in this situation restored our lead. We were now up 3-1. Later in the inning, Keisha Phillips on second and Vladimir Guerrero up, and he seemingly gets a hold of one to center field. However, it's just not quite deep enough, so it is caught. Keisha Phillips tags up, and a poor spike throw from the center fielder allows her to use her speed and score, getting 2 bases on the sacrifice fly. 4-1 now, top of the sixth, and it's Pablo Sanchez again, this time an opposite field line drive to right, and Luann Louis was on second base, able to easily score, and Pablo has an RBI double to put us up 5-1. In the bottom of the sixth, Hugo Hernandez, 3-0 count, a dangerous situation, hits this little foul pop-up, but a beautiful running catch from Jocinda Smith puts him away. And then in the top of the seventh, Keisha Phillips, you know she always wants in on the home run game, and this was another blast. A solo home run to lead off the top of the seventh, as once again we start to find our rhythm in the middle innings. 510 feet from Keisha Phillips there, just an absolute tomahawk chop, amazing hit, and we go up by 5. Ernie Steele is up later, a couple batters later, with Vladimir Guerrero on second, hits a great line drive to center field that is somewhat mishandled, and that allows Vladimir Guerrero to easily score, and we go up 7-1. Ernie thinks about going to second and then decides better of it. Top of the seventh now, 2 outs, Annie Frazier up to bat. She hits a little dribbler, and Dante Robinson is in motion, and he looks to be safe, but they call him out. Didn't put up too much of a fight on that one because we were up 6, but I do think he may have gotten there. Top of the eighth, we continue our offensive firepower with Mikey Thomas hitting a fantastic line drive to center field. Pablo Sanchez scores easily from second base, and then unfortunately, Mikey is just not able to get to second base in time, and he ends up being tagged out. And we're up 8-1 in the top of the ninth, 2 outs, just trying to finish this game off when Luann Louis gets an infield single off of a spitball, which allows Annie Frazier to hit a screaming line drive off of a spitball as well. The pitcher pulling out all the stops to try and end the game, or at least stop us from hitting anymore. However, this screaming line drive scores Luan, puts us up 9-1, and now we have aluminum power for Pablo Sanchez, someone who certainly doesn't need it, but he is happy to use it when it is available. And that is his third home run of the game. This one, of course, being the farthest of the three, as Annie Frazier scores to make it 10-1, 630 feet from Pablo, putting us up 11-1. But we weren't done, because we still had aluminum power, and Mikey Thomas, 0 for 5 on the day, takes out his frustrations on that pitch and hits a home run of his own to go up 12-1. Wasn't necessarily a justified 0 for 5, but he got it. 685 feet for Mikey Thomas, and then Keisha Phillips finishes off the trifecta of aluminum power home runs by hitting her second home run of the day. This puts us up 13-1. So when I said in the game video that we ran up the score a little bit, I mean, when you have aluminum power, you got to use aluminum power. Doesn't matter the game situation. 679 feet for Keisha. Giants got us back a little bit, though. In the bottom of the ninth, they get a screaming line drive RBI single from Marky Dubois to put us up 13-2, I believe, scoring Hugo Hernandez. And then Carlos Ocampo also hits a screaming line drive, pulls it down the right field line, and that allows the Giants to cut the deficit to 10. And there it would stay as Luan gets a strikeout and then gets Andres Ibsen to ground into a double play, well turned here by Luan, Annie, and Jocinda, and we end up with the 13-3 victory to kick off the second half of our season. We are now 6-2 and continuing to try and push for a division championship and a playoff appearance.